Hello, Internet! I'm Elliot the Purple-Haired Doofus, and welcome back to another exciting chapter of Ready Player One. Today we are discussing chapter 0009. At the end of the last chapter, we were left off at a cliffhanger, where Wade was about to leave the dungeon when he was stopped by a silhouette. It turns out that the silhouette was none other than the woman he's been following online, At3mis. Rather than just going right out and saying, "Hey, my name is Wade," he exchanges Highlander quotes with her, which is great, because Highlander was totally late 80s, early 90s. Like, everyone was into it. I made a mistake. I thought that he was the first to go into the dungeon. In this chapter, we find out that At3mis had been going into the dungeon for 5 weeks beforehand, trying again and again and again to defeat Ace. She's been going every other night right at midnight so that when the clock changes over and the world resets, she has another opportunity within minutes after she has failed, because she is not good at Joust. And she even lists off several other video games that it could have been and she would have done just great at. Burger Time and Pac-Man. All of those, and I thought that was great. Then we're reminded that Wade is on a school planet, so there is no P versus P, player versus player, on the school planet. But he's not quite sure if the dungeon has the same restrictions about being a player versus player. The two test it out, and they find out that yes, the dungeon as well has a player versus player restriction. This is also where he mentions, apparently, if you die with a key, the key just disappears. You can't give the key to someone else. If you go through and you defeat Ace, once you defeat Ace, you get a key. But the key that you receive can't be given to someone else. You can't be killed and have someone else pick up the key. So the only way that you can get the copper key is to defeat Ace. At3mis kids around with Wade about how there's no possible way he could have beat Ace on the first try. It kind of gets into like a little tete-a-tete between Wade and At3mis. Starting to want to turn on the Barry White jams. Hey, baby. How you doing? Sing it! Back and forth between the two of them. He doesn't tell her that he won the key because he's still being a little protective. He's feeling guilty about not telling her because he finds out that At3mis is very cool and exactly like the online personality that he has grown to enjoy by reading her blog over and over and over again. She finds the leaderboard that Halliday had brought up the day that he died and finds that Percival, or Wade, is at the top with a score of 10,000 right now. All the others are Halliday's initials. You son of a bitch! You lied to me! Don't know what to say right now. She casts a spell and traps him in the dungeon so that he can't leave until midnight happens. He's not surprised by this. He is a little disappointed. He did have plans to just run off to where the gate was so that he could use the copper key on the gate. At3mis tells Wade that he should keep his screen name private. Now that his screen name has been put at the top of the leaderboard, all over the news, everyone's going to get in on this contest all over again. It's going to be huge news again. If he discusses his screen name with other people, people will want to hunt him down and kill him for his knowledge. By getting the copper key, he's effectively put a price on his head. While they're waiting, since At3mis put the spell up, At3mis asks Wade what his plans are to do with the $250 billion. And I have to admit, his plans sound amazing. His plan is to build a large spaceship with every recorded piece of art in human history, collect a bunch of his closest friends to live on the spaceship, and then just leave Earth. Leave it behind because it's a dying planet. At3mis tells her plans. They're very thoughtful. They're very pleasant. It's like the dreams practically every person would have. Feed the world. Make the world a better place. Make the world a happy, peaceful place. But I'm just kind of like, well, those plans sound boring. Wow. Plans sound very, very boring. I'm on Wade's side on this one. I really want a spaceship. But that leads us into today's question, which is, what would you do with $250 billion? I will definitely tell you my plans tomorrow. Before I leave you, I have to answer my question from yesterday, which was, what was the most difficult video game boss that you've battled in recent history? Right now, I just finished a game called So Many Me on my other channel, The Non-Gamers. The finale isn't up yet because I have to edit it down, because right now I have 2 hours of footage trying to defeat the boss because it's so frustrating. It took me maybe an hour to figure out exactly what I had to do. His attacks are random. Every time I jump, I'm worried I might get hit, and it's very, very irritating. But I am rapidly running out of time again. I have been the Purple Hair Doofus, and I am reminding you all to watch your Pajama Radius. And I will see you all in the next exciting chapter of Ready Player One. Toodles!